Test once. Test. It's Friday, October 9th, and this is your Talk Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and as you can see, we're in our mobile HAN studio today. We've pulled into Danbury High School, getting ready for this evening's game where the Hatters take on the Black Knights. Of course, later today, we're going to be bringing you the FCAC tailgate and game day, getting ready for tonight. But first, we have today's headlines. Rob Adams is also going to give you the latest high school sports update, and we're going to take a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's headlines. Bridgeport police said Thursday that they had the car involved in the abduction and sexual assault of a city teenager and that an arrest is forthcoming. Assistant Police Chief James Nardozzi said, "I'm pleased to announce that through the work of an incredible amount of information and tips from the community that was given to the Bridgeport Police Department, we have the car in that video that was released earlier this week in custody." He went on to say, "We have identified the woman who is believed to be responsible for this attack, and we are very hopeful that an arrest is imminent in this matter." On Wednesday, of course, as we told you on Coffee Break, police released surveillance video from Monday which showed a 17-year-old teenager bailing out of a moving car, apparently to escape from her abductor. The car, on which a missing rear bumper was replaced by plastic foam, was found in New Haven Thursday morning. Police said the suspect was a woman in her 40s who picked up the victim on Boston Avenue in a charcoal gray Toyota Yaris as the teen was on her way to school at Harding High. Nardozzi said there was no reason to believe the teen and the suspect knew each other and that the girl was lured on the simple promise of, "It's cold outside, can I give you a ride to school?" Once inside the car, the teen later told police she was sexually assaulted. Nardozzi would not elaborate on the nature of the assault, but said the teen was not seriously injured. Nardozzi went on to say that this is an extreme rarity in Bridgeport. Near the scene of the abduction on Boston Avenue, residents said they were alarmed to hear about the abduction attempt. Well, in other news, Ridgefield residents of 9 different roads reported spray paint vandalism to vehicles, mailboxes, driveway lights, and signs and other property on Thursday, October 8th. Police said it seemed that the damage was random. Vandalism was reported on a number of roads, including Ramapo, Armand Road, Old Sib, Tacora Trail, 11 Levels Road, Old West Mountain Road, Green Lane, and Bennett's Farm Road. The department received numerous complaints Thursday, and it is believed the vandalism occurred on the evening of October 7th. Police asked that anyone with information about the vandalism call the Ridgefield Police Department at 203-438-6531. You can also contact their anonymous tip line, which is 203-431-2345. Well, Seymour police arrested an Ansonia woman Tuesday afternoon after they said she inappropriately touched and fondled a teenager at the Seymour skate park and allegedly made sexual comments to other juveniles. 37-year-old Jennifer Johnson of Fitzpatrick Road was charged with 5 counts of risk of injury to a minor, as well as single counts of 4th-degree sexual assault, attempted 2nd-degree sexual assault, and 2nd-degree breach of peace. She was arraigned Wednesday at Superior Court in Derby, where a judge set her bond bond at $25,000 and continued the case to October 22nd, according to the Valley Indy. According to a statement from Seymour Police Deputy Chief Paul Satkowski, officers were dispatched at about 4 in the afternoon Tuesday on a report of a woman trying to lure kids into a vehicle near the skate park. Officers arrived to find Johnson sitting in a vehicle with a girl who appeared to be nervous and was removed from the car by investigating officers. Satkowski said Johnson had arrived at the park looking to have a sexual encounter with a 16-year-old male. When the male could not be located, police said Johnson began making inappropriate comments and innuendos that were sexual in nature to several teenagers that were in the skate park. Johnson further fondled one of the teenagers, police said, in an aggressive and sexual manner on sensitive areas of the teenager's body. Satkowski said cops took Johnson into custody without incident and none of the teenagers were injured. Well, in Trumbull, a Stratford man was arrested for criminal impersonation after allegedly giving police a fake ID after he was picked up for shoplifting from Macy's at the Westfield Trumbull Mall on Monday. Police said that 32-year-old Anthony Ramirez was seen on the store's loss prevention cameras carrying a backpack into the department store and putting several items into it. He was taken into custody by store security before Trumbull police officers arrived at the scene. Ramirez gave police a Connecticut license that was in the system with an outstanding warrant on it. At police headquarters, he was fingerprinted, however, and officers determined that the identification given at the mall was falsified. Police said that once his identity was verified through fingerprints, the system showed Ramirez had 7 of his own warrants for outstanding burglary and larceny charges across Fairfield County. The report added that the suspect pretended to choke on his food at the Trumbull Police Department and was taken to the hospital for medical treatment. According to police, Ramirez will be charged on the 7 warrants when he returns to headquarters. He's currently being held on a $25,000 bond for the charges he received from the mall incident, a figure police said will increase when the 7 additional charges are served. He is scheduled to appear in court on October 14th. Well, according to the Associated Press, a 3-foot-long python that startled a Hartford family after they discovered it in their kitchen has been safely returned to its owner. Police say an animal control officer was called to the Deerfield Avenue home after the family called police Thursday morning. The snake's owner lives nearby and realized the exotic reptile was missing after seeing a large snake had been found nearby. Police say the snake, named Bertha, accidentally escaped and that the owner appears to take good care of it. The owner was issued a verbal warning not to let the reptile get loose again. No criminal charges are expected. Citing fundamental differences with First Selectman Gail Weinstein, Weston's Republican Registrar of Voters Teresa Brasco and Lisa Flanagan, the Republican Deputy Registrar of Voters, have resigned. The Weston Forum reports that on September 21st, the pair submitted resignation letters to the town clerk's office, which forwarded them to the state the procedure for the resignation of elected officials. Both said in their letters that the resignation date will be effective December 31st. Teresa Brasco was elected in 2014 as the Republican registrar. Her term would have been up for re-election in November 2016. She will work through the upcoming municipal election in November. At a selectmen's meeting on October 1st, Brasco read a letter into the record explaining her concerns and frustration. She said, "This is the last place I want to be tonight, explaining why I felt compelled to resign prior to the completion of my term." She went on to say, "I believe in a collegial work environment and integrity of process. The first selectman's complete disregard of information presented by the registrars and her unwillingness to reconcile the differences in data exemplifies the corrosive and increasingly inhospitable work environment that has developed. This does not serve me or the voters of Weston," she said. Brasco said one issue that has led to her resignation was the discussion of the salary, actually a stipend paid to the registrar. Weston's registrars are paid a stipend of $11,000 a year, and Brasco believes that amount is significantly lower than other comparable registrar positions in other towns. There's a lot more on that story at thewestonforum.com. It's about time now to throw it over to Rob Adams, who is outside of our mobile cruiser right now. He's going to give you a look at today's weather. Rob?
Kate. Good morning, and hi, everyone, on a beautiful day here at Danbury High School, at least right now, because right as we went on the air today, the sun decided to come out. We've got a mostly cloudy day, though, however, with isolated showers in the afternoon, showers likely with scattered thunderstorms as we move along into the afternoon, and some of those thunderstorms may produce gusty winds with highs in the low 70s. Tonight, for the football game, mostly cloudy, showers, scattered thunderstorms in the evening. Some thunderstorms may produce gusty wind in the evening as well, low of 50. So I can tell you right now, the whole crew doesn't want to hear these words that I'm speaking. For Saturday, when we say hello to Mariano Rivera, a sunny day, high 51. Mostly clear. You're not going to believe this. Low 38 tomorrow night. Bundle up, stay warm. Sunny and 67 for Sunday, 45 for the low Sunday night, 71 as we go back to work on Monday. 7 in Shelton. New Canaan is 65, and right here in Hat City, Danbury, it's 64 degrees. Kate, back inside to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with a lot more news. We also have a look back on this day in history and a sports update with Rob. That and a lot more coming up on your coffee break, live from Danbury High School after this.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
And we're back with this Friday edition of your coffee break on the HAN Network. The HAN Cruiser is rolled into Danbury High School, and we're here live right now in our mobile studio. And since Don Eng is not on board today, he has put together his look back on this day in history, so I'll be bringing that to you right now. Imagine how different the world could have been. 1635, Roger Williams, founder of Rhode Island, was banished from Massachusetts because he had spoken out against punishments for religious offenses and giving away land that belonged to the Indians. Williams had founded Providence, Rhode Island as a place for people to seek religious freedom. 1701, the Collegiate School of Connecticut, later renamed Yale University, is chartered in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. The college was founded by 10 congressional ministers to train ministers in Connecticut. All 10 founders, by the way, were Harvard graduates. 1888, the Washington Monument officially opens to the general public. Construction had begun in 1848, but was halted between 1854 and 1877 due to lack of funds and the Civil War. When construction resumed, builders acquired marble from a different quarry, which is why the bottom third of the monument is a different shade of white. It remains the tallest structure in Washington, D.C. 1919 Black Sox scandal. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series, but the victory is later tainted by revelations that 8 members of the Chicago White Sox had collaborated with gamblers to fix the series. Those 8 men, including shoeless Joe Jackson, were banned from baseball for life by Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis. And we don't normally go into birthdays, but according to Don Eng, what the heck, let's make Rob Adams' day with this video.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
That's right. John Lennon would have been 75 years old today. Imagine all the people his music has influenced. And I got to say, I love those early October birthdays. Another fellow one. But now it is time to throw it over to Rob Adams for the latest on high school sports. Rob? Okay. Do you want me to? Oh.
Stop, don't move.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Rob Adams with the latest on high school sports and a lot more news on your coffee break after this.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
And we're back with this Friday edition of your coffee break on the HAN network. The mobile cruiser is parked outside Danbury High School. It's time to throw it outside the cruiser to Rob Adams for the latest on high school sports. Rob?
Thank you and good morning. This being John Lennon's birthday, we remind ourselves that Instant Karma will get you and we all shine on. Very tempting to do sports in John Lennon song titles, but that would require too much help. Okay, we dive into it. In field hockey, Ridgefield beat Stanford 1-0. Rebecca Silver had the lone goal. Wilton over Danbury 5-0. They don't want to hear that here in Hat City. Boys soccer, Ward took care of Stanford 1-0. Carl Lewis had the goal. It was Ludlow over West Hill 3-0 with Mike McArdle. Tarcio Will Almeida and David Bates, the goals for the Falcons. Ridgefield over St. Joe's 1-0. Darien and Staples played to a 2-all draw, and Greenwich and Central did the same, a 2-all draw. We move now to the schedule, and sure, it is a busy one, and that includes what's going on right here at Crotty Stadium, as tonight it is football featuring the Danbury Hatters and the Stamford Black Knights. It's only one of 3 games on the schedule in the FCIAC because this is the FCIAC bye week. Otherwise, 2 other games, Staples at McMahon and Wilton and Ward. Of course, we'll have the pregame show for you beginning with FCIAC Tailgate at 4, FCIAC Game Day at 5. Girls soccer. Right here at Danbury, Trinity Catholic will come to play the Hatters at 3:30. Central and Greenwich at 4. Other games at 4, Stamford and Ward. It's Darien home for Staples. St. Joe's at Ridgefield. West Hill is at Ludlow. And Wilton and Trumbull play under the lights at 7. Oh boy, we'll look out for the weather. Field hockey. Darien is at Staples. It is Greenwich playing St. Joe's and Ward home for Brian McMahon. In girls volleyball, Norwalk and Greenwich play at 4, West Hill and Trumbull at 4, St. Joe's is at Stamford, Ward is at Danbury, McMahon home for Staples, Darien at Ridgefield, New Canaan at Ludlow, Wilton at Trinity Catholic. From girls swimming and diving, St. Joe's at New Canaan, West Hill, Stamford at Norwalk, McMahon, and Greenwich is at Ridgefield. And one more score I want to grab and give to you from boys soccer that we didn't have, McMahon and Norwalk, a 1-all draw. Guess that's the best of both worlds if you're down in Norwalk. And don't forget, voting for the HAN Network FCIAC Athlete of the Week. We will announce the winners today during FCIAC Game Day. So you want to get out the vote with sports and solving the problems of the world and imagining all the scores. I'm Rob Adams. Enough cheesy puns. Back to Kate.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Well, now getting back to some of today's news, the Wilton Historic District Commission voted unanimously on October 7th to delay for 90 days the demolition of the structures at 183 Ridgefield Road, collectively known in town as the Schlichting Homestead. The special meeting was called for that very purpose in Wilton when a property owner decides to demolish a building that is more than 50 years old and larger than 500 square feet in size. He or she must notify the building department, which sends an automatic notice to the Historic District Commission, giving those commissioners 15 days to decide whether to exercise their ultimate power of issuing a 90-day delay. Commissioner Al Stauderman made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Allison Sanders, and the 7 all voted in favor of issuing the delay. The commission will now submit its ruling in writing to the building department, citing its reasoning, which Kevin Quinlan, chair of the commission, defined as, quote, "It's historically notable and architecturally notable property, which has been a landmark in Wilton for centuries." After the meeting was officially adjourned, Quinlan opened up the room to comments from the public, who, well in attendance, filled almost every seat in the old town hall. An architect who spoke at the meeting said he specializes in historic properties, and he said saving the structure would take a certain amount of magical thinking on the side of the concerned residents of the town. Wilton resident Victoria Mavis, who privately disclosed her name to the Bulletin, started a petition to save the homestead, which currently sits at 343 signatures. Some suggested a group be formed out of the union of those who signed Mavis's petition and those present at the meeting who wished to join the effort, spearheaded with the expertise of the architect and guided by the direction of the Historic District Commission. There is a lot more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com. Well, a man was shot and killed in a vehicle on Chapel Street in New Haven Thursday night, and police are searching for the person who killed him, according to NBC Connecticut. Police officers, firefighters, and medics responded to Chapel Street near Ella T. Grasso Boulevard around 7:40 in the evening after gunshots were reported, and they found 29-year-old Antoine Heath of West Haven. Heath was transported to Yale New Haven Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Police said he had been shot in the chest, and police believe he was in the vehicle when the shot or shots were fired. The shooter remains at large and is considered armed and dangerous. Authorities are still working on specific description of the shooter. Witnesses told police that someone with shoulder-length braids or dreadlocks fled from the area into Edgewood Park. Witnesses were unsure of the gender of the suspect, according to police. It was also reported that a dark-colored sedan sped off after the shooting. Chapel Street remained closed between Ella T. Grasso Boulevard and Yale Avenue on Friday morning. Police actively searching Edgewood Park on Thursday night and asked the public to avoid that area. Detectives from the Major Crime Squad Division and Bureau of Investigations are also investigating that. Well, in some lighter news, customers might expect to hear Bob Seger on the radio when they lay eyes on the interior of the new Georgetown Saloon, which reopened under new ownership Tuesday, September 22nd. According to managing partner Bob Manair, the Georgetown Saloon has been iconic since 1978. We are going back to basics of what the saloon was. There are 18 tables strewn throughout the dining room of the saloon. The lightwood interior is inviting and warm, and the late local artist Victor Olson's paintings adorn the walls. Manair says they gutted the whole room and reassembled it from scratch since the last owners left the building in the spring. The 11-seat acid-etched steel bar houses 12 beer taps, and there's a lot more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. We are now going to throw it back outside the HAN Cruiser to Rob Adams for another look at today's weather. The sun has been peeking out, Rob, so I know that the weather's kind of changing, though we're supposed to get some showers tonight, but going to throw it over to Rob now for the latest.
All right, we take a look at the weather here at Danbury High School. Not the best of days. We've got a chance of showers and showers all throughout the day. High will be 72. Showers and possibly a thunderstorm likely tonight. And it's going to drop down right near 50 degrees. Tomorrow, not bad, sunny and 61. But tomorrow night, upper 30s for your temperature. Not good at all. To Sunday, mostly sunny, high near 67, 45 for the low Sunday night. Sunny and 71 as we return to the work week. Right now, we have 67 in Shelton, 65 in New Canaan, and Danbury, Connecticut has 64 degrees. Kate, back to you.
Rob, well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, Josh Fisher is going to be joining me, and we're going to talk about the top stories on all our HAN community websites this week. So that is coming up on your coffee break after this.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels. It's time to come back to hometown. Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Kite Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Kite stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Kite Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation Landmark.
with this Friday, October 9th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and we're live on our mobile studio right now outside of Danbury High School getting ready for tonight's game. Josh Fisher joining me now. Before we wrap up our coffee break, Josh, we're going to take a look at the top stories
Where's
this
my
week.
headset, Kate?
Well, you're not special
I
enough
can't
to
hear
get the
anything.
entire
I can't hear what you're
headset.
saying.
You just get a microphone.
What? All right.
So, all right, we're going to take a look at the top stories on all our HAN
Yes.
Network sites. And we have to say Trumbull Times dominated this week with a lot of interesting news. What's our top story this week,
The top
Josh?
story is about the Trumbull High School students rallying around this fired substitute teacher. And stories about this made up three of our top three stories of the week. Steve Coulter, editor of the Trumbull Times, has done an impressive job covering this. Lots of stories, including this substitute who was fired or contract was not renewed.
Right.
Basically,
So the basic story is, if you just want me to summarize it, is that this substitute was not rehired this year. He's been a substitute for many years and worked on the Chinese enrichment program in the school. And he thought that potentially the reason he wasn't brought back because he had messaged the mother of a student who had shared what he found to be a racist post about President Obama. There's obviously been some disagreement about that and what the post was. And that parent happened to be a town council Republican, Cindy Penkoff. And he thought that perhaps because he had messaged her about that and she got angry and reported him to police, that's why he didn't get brought back on. So it's been a whole fiasco in Trumbull.
He accuses Trumbull of the leadership in Trumbull of having a totalitarian mindset. And goes after the first selectman, Tim Herbst, who then chimed back after not talking to the Trumbull Times until Steve posted a story, then wrote a long statement about how he has nothing to do with the schools, which I also found interesting this week, considering he released a campaign video where he touted how great the Trumbull schools are.
Right. And First Selectman Herbst says that he thinks this whole thing is a political smear campaign, and the kids who have been fighting for this substitute are being used as pawns, which many of them have been upset.
Yeah, then a large group of students show up at that Board of Ed
and
meeting on Tuesday,
well.
and
so,
parents.
Yes, but the substitute has not gotten his job back, and that doesn't appear to be happening anytime soon. But, interesting story there. Our number 5 story this week was another Trumbull story, kind of totally different, switching gears.
Yeah, the body of Saint Maria Goretti is coming to Trumbull, or was in Trumbull. It is in Trumbull right now, right?
Yeah, there was a special on Wednesday or Tuesday, I believe, that it was going to be there all day. There were going to be special prayer services. It's its only Connecticut stop of this Catholic relic, and then it's moving on. So
yeah, it's kind of neat how those bodies of those saints continue to
It's
travel along.
an interesting thing about the Catholic Church, kind of that whole, it's kind of fascinating.
Very Egyptian.
What else is sticking out to you?
Well, the family of Harry Connick Jr. showed up in court this week for the arraignment of Mr. Connick's daughter, Georgia, which was postponed again. She's charged with throwing an underage drinking party and has caught some attention because of the famous family in New Canaan. But also, this was really interesting. It was about 2 Darien police officers were arrested for one of them for just discharging a firearm. They found a bunch of bullet holes in one of the cops' cars. They were off duty, and they've both been placed on paid administrative leave.
Interesting.
This week, they're both. I think they've both been with the force for 10 years, and it's kind of an interesting, weird story out of Darien.
Right. And then, of course, a heroin search in Darien as well. The police selective enforcement unit made an arrest after investigating the sale of heroin out of a Leeds Lane residence. So interesting there. I mean, I know police in Darien have been addressing kind of what they see as a growing heroin problem, as many of our towns.
Yeah, all over the state and really the country.
Right. And it seems like they're really trying to crack down on, the source of some of those sales.
And our top 10 is rounded up by Mr. Nowacki, who's someone, Mike Nowacki, who is a petitioning candidate for first selectman in New Canaan. He's filed hundreds of FOI requests and has been banned from town hall a few times, and he likes to cause trouble and make a lot of questions about town government. And so the first selectman, Rob Malazzi, refused to debate him, leading the League of Women Voters to cancel the first selectman's portion of the debate. But Malazzi talked about all the support he's gotten, and then Greg Riley, the editor of the Advertiser, wrote a rather strong editorial which they ran on the front page of the Advertiser. That's our number 10 story this week about headline is "Your Intelligence Fails You, Free Speech is Lost." And I mean, Mike Nowacki is
directed at Michael Nowacki.
At Michael Nowacki, who is a rather brilliant man who can't quite control his speech sometimes, and has caused he has caused a lot of, I mean, I remember when I was editor of the Advertiser, it just is, he almost buries all these town officials in paperwork that helps preventing them from doing their own job. And it is noted, Malazzi noted too this week, that the FOI commission in the state has never cited the town for not, they've never failed or gotten an FOI complaint against them. So so they have been complying with his request, but it certainly has slowed down New
It seems like town
Canaan.
officials feel like they're being held hostage by this person.
Yeah.
They're not speaking or releasing a lot of statements, according to Rob Malazzi. And we should say that Michael Nowacki actually sued the New Canaan Advertiser, and he wasn't successful in that.
Yeah, he sued
Filed a
me
lawsuit.
twice. He sued the Advertiser a few times.
And he was unsuccessful in those
He was. It was also,
attempts.
too, a couple weeks ago, he held this whistleblower forum,
Yes.
but you could only attend if you'd sign a piece of paper saying that you wouldn't disclose what happened at it, which seems weird for a guy who's all about this freedom of information stuff. And Greg Riley, good for him, said he would not attend if he had to sign that sheet of paper, and didn't, then met with Nowacki about it afterwards. But Mike Nowacki's been appearing in our papers for, at least 5 years now, and it'll be interesting how that election turns out in New Canaan.
You can't make this stuff up. And really, I mean, as usual, another great week of, community journalism for all our HAN and network websites. Really, just never is boring.
It is, yeah. So we only got about 12.
Trumbull, New Canaan, everywhere. It's never boring. All right, Josh, well, thanks for taking a look at the top stories with me.
Thanks for having me on the cruiser, Kate.
We are going to wrap up this Friday edition of your Coffee Break. Of course, we're going to be outside Danbury High School all day. 4 o'clock, your FCAC tailgate. 5 o'clock, FCAC game day. And, of course, getting ready for tonight's game where the Hatters take on the Black Knights. So be sure to keep watching HAN Network. Have a great